Hello and fuck cape shit. Welcome to another Shittywebcomics Weekly, brought to you by our Subscribe Star backers. They fund these wonderful videos, and also they are getting access to the secret lore of the entire internet, everything that you'll be hearing from the rest of the internet in the following 5 years. You can hear from us today. Hear about it from us today or on Kiwi Farms in 5 years, if ever. So donate to us if you want to know the truth, and don't donate to us if you don't want to know the truth. Getting into this wonderful week's is shrimp fried rice memes. Clearly, this is the primo, kino, top tier nectar that that our Subscribe Star backers are really making free for the rest of the plebs.
This is the important material.
Yes,
Fine.
the stuff that people pay for on their Subscribe Stars is the mid tier shit about like how Nick Rekieta was a cuck that we've been posting the evidence of for years that nobody caught on to.
Evidence and proofs and receipts of all that.
Yeah, that boring crap. What you really want to see is pictures of people saying things about rice being fried by shrimp. Somebody did a drawing, as you could Gazuru saying, they did a drawing of Gauru Gurara, who Brittany Venti hates. She hates Gura more than wait, what is this thing popping up? Okay, she hates Gura more than she enjoys being baked Alaska's toilet. Why did she like that? I don't know. I guess it's not up to me to decide.
She wants to be a toilet.
She's just way into that. Gura, on the other hand, she's not into baked Alaska. She's not into federal agents. But so they just did a picture of Gura going, "You're telling me a shrimp fried this rice?" as she gestures over to a shrimp that's frying rice. So first of all, she really is stupid. I mean, that one thing you can say, you definitely have to say about Gura is that she is dumb. I mean, she's looking at the shrimp as it's frying rice. Yes, of course the shrimp is frying rice. You're looking at it. What's wrong with her?
There's no mistaking it.
She's, I know, what's going on with her? And of course, the shrimp is just fucking, with the walk, just flip. It's like a tidal wave, just fucking rolling over. It's very cute. The next one is one from earlier, but they posted it in reply. In fact, the replies became a tidal wave as well of shrimp fried rice memes, where, of course, the meme is the idea that a shrimp fried the rice. And this is some reference to some anime, maybe. I have no fucking clue which one. And you know what? I don't care. It's from Gundam, I'm sure. But the guy is saying, "You're telling me a shrimp fried this rice?" Just in the chef from Food Wars or something. Or no, it's no, you know what? Now I recognize it. It's from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because the shrimp, shrimp is the chef in the background,
and he's wearing armor, but also the chef is the brother who's kicking down the door just angrily because he's not a shrimp. In fact, is that the implication, is that he's short and he's very insecure about that? Is that so? I haven't seen it. I haven't watched the anime. I haven't read the comic. Maybe there's stuff about oh no, he's short. People make fun of him and he sure is pissed. It's a joke from the show or the gimmick. You know what? I always heard it was pretty decent. Or Brotherhood was decent anyways. I don't know.
I know SF Turbis reviewed it.
And yeah, he made it sound pretty good. He also reviewed Paranoia Agent, and I haven't gotten around to watching that, but I'm planning to finally. I know it's not long, but it's
we watched the other two, or
there's like three other movies. There's Paprika, Tokyo Godfathers, and Perfect Blue. And they actually, all of them were. Paprika I thought was kind of slight. It was clearly meant to be kind of a goof movie, but Tokyo Godfathers was surprisingly more fun than I thought, especially for anime. I was like, ugh, really? Who cares? Going to be another Grave of the Fireflies where it's important. Instead, it was like a fucking lark, and it was based off some American novel from the 30s or something, or the 20s. It was like, oh, okay.
Oh, it's an actual adaptation.
It's got a story. It actually has a story arc and character arcs, and it's anime. I don't know. I got to see it for myself. So I did. I mean, nobody said that. Of course, none of the anime fans were like, it actually has a story arc, because what anime fan would say? You know how almost no anime has story arcs or character arcs? Because indeed, most anime, that all of them, just anime, and then it just has no character arc at all. Some of them do. Um, like
Imagine
fucking
that. A story with an actual arc.
yeah, where things happen because of other events in the story that lead up and culminate to actions. Wow. And there, I know there are some animus out there that do that, but there are a ton that just don't. There are a ton that are just like fucking a series of appealing visuals. But anyways, um, and you know, I'm sure that like Berserk is a good example of something that does have an arc, as all sorts of character arcs and fucking and all sorts of fucked up shit. Cowboy Bebop and fucking as an example of something that has none though.
What a coincidence! These are all very Western-inspired things.
Yeah, Westabu kind of animus, but Tenchi Muyo is an example of something that really has no arc. It's just a series of the same joke, the same
No arc,
Three's
no
Company joke.
even. There's no substance. There's not even that much flash.
Same for Akira. Yeah, Akira and the Ghost in the Shell movie has no character arc at all, and it has no
I mean, for
story
me,
arc.
the real shame of it is
It's a series
that
of images.
Akira, fucking the Akira manga is the mango.
That has a huge character arc. In fact, it has character details and aspects of the characters that aren't in the movie, including the main two characters.
They could have been in the movie too, and you could have had something really fascinating there.
Yeah, it's weird
That
how,
is the shame of it.
like, even again, we've gone over this, but just the little changes in the intro of the movie Akira versus the comic book Akira are just blatantly and drastically change the entire overall tone. Like the beginning of the Akira manga, I think we've gone over this, but the beginning of the Akira manga is they find one of the mysterious fucking elderly Smurf kids on the street and almost run him over. And so they're just pissed off at him, and it's like, let's kick his ass. It's like, yeah, fuck. And the main hero protagonist, either Kaneda or Tetsuo, I think, Canada, he's like, yeah, we'll fucking kick his ass. And then the mysterious kid flies away, and they're just pissed off. They're like, oh, fucking asshole. Whereas in the movie, they're like, oh, could it be Prince of Space? What is this? Yeah.
What is the meaning? What is the true meaning of life and nature?
What is the nature of God? Oh, it just fucking. And then the kid flies away, and they're like, wow. And it's just, again, it's not exactly like that, but the tone is still so different.
It's not. You're still talking it up like it's actually more amazing.
Yeah, no, it's still dumber than that. It's just blander. And whereas in the comic, it's funny. It's actually played for funny, and the main guy is supposed to be sort of a lovable, stupid goofball. Whereas in the movie, he's like brave hero. He's going to take a stand to get to... And again, it just sucks all the interest out of his character, whereas he's a complete dolt all the way to the end.
It does make it more streamlined. It also makes it really fucking generic.
Yeah, bland. And Tetsuo... is again, they strip out some of his best scenes, like where he goes to the bowling alley, where he just goes to a gang and demands all of their drugs.
This is a new rule. Any fucking weeaboo who complains about anyone ever who complains about
generalizations
or fucking anything like that, but is willing to accept fucking it happening in fucking Akira. They have no actual thought. They're not a human.
They don't actually believe in anything. All of their words are hollow and empty. And we've seen a lot of it. We were the first to really document anime fans being like that. Anyways, but the shrimp fried rice is also, it's just as important, if not more important than Akira. There was one thing about Akira or about anime fans is they'll say something, they're like, oh, why are you generalizing? Or they'll be like, I hate it how they made this easier and streamlined and more user friendly, and then you know, again, they'll act like Akira was a genius movie when really it was the inferior version of the comic book that didn't have to be genius. It was just, it was for fun.
They
That's all it needed to be.
out of it. They made it soulless.
Soul versus soulless. They made Akira into a pretentious, important, in giant fucking sneer quotes, art, whereas the original comic was entertainment. And it didn't need to be anything more. And I know that the fucking guy who made the comic directed the movie, but still.
The Akira movie, not art either. It's not even art.
It never happened. It's complete and total fabrication.
All flesh, no substance.
Yes. Whereas the comic is full of flash, but also full of substance. And it tells a story of a sort of bumbling moron gang member who sort of fails upward through the bizarre machinations and happenstances that he really has almost nothing to do with. He's just there most of the time. And that's part of the comedy that most people don't even think of Akira as being a comedy, but it mostly is, and then has a ton of action. And ultimately, it ends on kind of a funny note, too, of like the folly of man, if you will, in a stupid way that's sort of almost self-aware stupid. I've thought about the ending of the Akira comic a lot, and there's a lot of bizarre things to consider about it, but more importantly, shrimp fried rice. Here, in fact, the next one, just a picture of a shrimp, like sort of held up with toothpicks in front of a pot or a pan or a wok of rice, and it says, like in fucking Elden Ring, rice fried. Somebody named Rice fucking posts my favorite one that I had seen before this, and it's the Orson Welles sitting at a table with the Parmesan wine, of course, from the ads. And the text says, "A shrimp am I to accept as God's own truth, that the sea's very own abominable and chittering roach was the one who took walk into hand and fried this rice." And that's, of course, fucking, you could just hear him saying that. You can hopefully hear it over my completely incompetent impersonation of him.
You can hear the voice in your head, either the fucking original or the actual impersonation done by a fucking...
Phil, or more not Phil LaMarche, but Phil Lamar, but Maurice LaMarche, or Lamarche, as I like to call him. But here, I queued up the... some of the what a lot of people remember Orson Welles for was the fucking that was another thing, is that LaMarche also did the impersonation, the parodies of this in both Pinky and the Brain, which is actually in the recommended videos here. Where is it showing up? Yeah, here. The video is just called Yes Always, and it just has Pinky and the Brain, but which is a direct reference to this, where he says, "Yes, always," in response to them telling him that it's like, "Oh, you're at this part of the fucking thing." But here, I'm going to play like a minute of this because it's just so good. It's wonderfully classic, so you probably won't be able to hear it. My brother...
I don't need to. I know, I've heard it before.
Yeah, you can hear it in your startled imagination. But here, I'll play it, and then I'll let you know when it's over so we can go back to talking. But here...
Here under protest is beef burgers. We know a little place in the American far west
under protest
where Charlie Briggs chops up the finest prairie-fed beef and tastes. This is a lot of shit, you know that. You want one more? More on what beef?
You missed the first beef actually completely.
What do you mean missed it?
You're emphasizing prairie fed.
But you can't emphasize beef. That's like he's wanting me to emphasize in before July. Come on, fellas, you're losing your heads. I wouldn't direct any living actor like this in Shakespeare. Well, you do this. It's impossible.
Orson, you did 6 last year, and by far and away the best, and I know the reason.
The right reading for this is the one I'm giving it.
At the moment.
I spent 20 times more for you people than any other commercial I've ever made. You are such pests. Now, what is it you want?
No, I think...
In your depths of your ignorance, what is it you want? Whatever it is you want, I can't deliver because I just don't see it.
In the depths of your ignorance was just wonderful, classic. I think the tape.
It's a powerhouse performance. That's the thing is like him. Like I mean, this is like off the cuff.
Yes, yeah, it is. To be honest, it's like fucking succinct and poetic. The way he's just like. Fuck it, it's the same way you wanted me to emphasize before July. Come on, fellas, you're losing your heads.
It's better material than anything Comicsgate has ever fucking
I mean,
come up with.
That's not even a fair comparison.
Is it?
But yes, it is true.
With this on the fly. Comicsgate has years and years of time to write their comics out. He's don't do better.
That's the funny thing is he's trashing the script that he's reading for these dumb commercials for frozen hamburgers and frozen peas and shit. And he's like, this is a lot of shit, you know that. But he's probably right. I mean, the way he's like fucking the script is like, we know a little farm, and it's like, really, you know, a little farm. That's where you get your meat, is a little farm instead of a fucking processing plant. Fuck you. But yeah, the way that 70s commercials especially would try to spin a narrative about the authentic wholesomeness of that. It's funny, you think about it, commercials were just as phony and fraudulent back then as they are now. Yeah, the thing is still, Orson Welles is completely pretentious. Like, I wouldn't direct anyone in Shakespeare like this. It's like, oh, you're directed people in Shakespeare, huh? Well, get back to reading this fucking read for frozen hamburgers and shit. You fucking ass. You fucking asshole.
He's doing this because he needs the money so bad.
Yeah, he just wants he wants the cash. I mean, they're giving him money. They're throwing him money because of his voice, really.
But he needed the money for I forget exactly why.
Well, he was trying to make that movie.
Outstanding debts, or he was trying to get another movie made.
Yeah, he was trying to make another movie, and I don't think he could even get funding because he was considered washed up. But he was also like, his movies were kind of obtuse and bizarre and experimental, and a lot of people didn't like. There was that final movie where it just didn't even get edited, but I think he finished filming most of it, and it didn't have John Ford or no, it was some other director though was playing a guy in it, and then Peter Bogdanovich, I think, was playing, who was also a director. He was playing a younger guy who was like going to hang out at the older director's house and sort of live in his life in the Hollywood Hills for a while with you know, people coming and going, and it was The Other Side of the Wind or something. And yeah, that's probably what he needed the money for, was to try and make that movie. And it never got finished. And I think Netflix, they made a documentary about it. And from that, they also like got the rest of the movie. They financed getting the rest of the movie sort of cut together and finished, so you could watch it. And it's like, wow, that's an interesting experiment. It's interesting what Netflix is doing. And this was many years ago now. Back when Netflix still only cost $8 fucking and let you share passwords. Whoa, can you imagine that? Anyways, but going on, there's just other goofy pictures. Here's somebody photoshopped to be a shrimp as they're frying some rice, and then somebody named Pepperoni. You want to talk to a man by the name of Pepperoni? And it's like anime girl fucking.
Is there a guy named Pepperoni?
Anime girl photoshopped into a giant wok full of apparently Lucky Charms. I don't know. It's the exact same giant wave as the original Garuru picture, but it's this fucking, you know, they're sort of flipping the wok and causing the wave of Lucky Charms. Apparently, it looks delicious. It looks like a fucking normal breakfast for Movie Bob. This is an average Lucky Charms. This is an average bowl of Lucky Charms for Movie Bob. Anyway, so yeah, that
his starter bowl, his first breakfast.
That's the first breakfast. What about second breakfast? What about 11sies? Anyways, so that is the meme, and Yeah, just a few. I'm sure there's a bunch of other examples of a shrimp fried this rice, but those are some of the prime examples, and I thought it was a nice meme to touch on. As in a way, they are, of course, a comic. They have a visual and sort of tell a story visually, and there's some words and
There's
stuff.
more entertainment. There's more entertainment value than in anything that Marvel Comics has done, Marvel or DC,
The big
in
two,
last
or
5 years or more.
the big two, or its failed cast-offs in Comicsgate. Fucking Marvel and DC fucking rejects who are in Comicsgate, and using the fact that they worked they're slamming the big two as they're using the fact that they worked for the big two as their fucking status signaling.
They're detritus of comics.
Yes. Very disgraceful. But anyways, what's not disgraceful, again, is our Subscribe Star that has tons of deep lore and fucking extra reviews. The kinds of reviews that they don't want you to see. And we're not saying that even as a pitch. Unironically, there are people who don't want you to watch our reviews or look at our Subscribe Star videos. But they also don't want you to support us.
Shitting and pants pissing fear of us.
Yes. They don't want you to support us in general, but you can support us very nicely and easily and successfully by going to our Subscribe Star and giving us money. Become PayPig. But for everyone else, should have listened to Shitty Webcomics.
And